Hello, and welcome to this Wildstorm Lightning tutorial. Today, we are going to be talking about mobile objects, or mobile entities, and visual components. We will not be getting into, however, today, collision components. So the first thing you're probably going to want to do is open up your Wildstorm Lightning command line interface. Alright, now if you don't do anything else, please enter C:. I intend to drive that into every single person who is watching this tutorial's heads, or the series of tutorials heads. I don't want horror stories about something happening to your computer because you didn't do this. I plan to update the toolkit in the future, so this is no longer a danger. So, go ahead into your Wildstorm directory. This is where mine is. Okay, so once we're in there, hit Edit Entity. Now, I've already edited this entity, but I'm going to show you what you're going to edit. So, edit the game object entity, enter 4, and set the component ID to 2. And you're done with the Wildstorm Lightning command line interface for today. Alright, what we just did there is we told the engine we're going to make a mobile object now. If you noticed, re-enter my directory. The editor now tells us that we are using a mobile entity if we print it. So, mobile component ID 2. So, you know we are using a mobile entity. The setup code for this tutorial is provided in the description. We will be today creating a UFO. We're going to make a UFO. We're not going to go over all the visual components in Wildstorm today. We're just going over the sprite component. But go ahead and launch Wildstorm Lightning, and we'll see the demo code from last time. This is the position of the object. It's rotated this. We know everything's working because we have io.read. And nothing's printed. Refresh, beginning refresh, ending refresh, the standard, and escape to exit properly. But we're going to change some things around. Open up Notepad++ here, and we'll see some demo code from last time. Well, I'm going to add a couple of things. So here's the first line I'm going to add. Comment this for a second. And that's where okay. So what does this line do? Well, pretty much what we're going to do is tell the object where it is going to go. But have we told the object to move yet, or to calculate how to go there? The answer is no. So that's why we add these two lines in refresh.will. So, what we're doing here is in initialize.will we're telling the object, okay, you're going to move here eventually. And then in refresh.will we tell it, okay, we're going to calculate how you're going to get there, and now we're actually going to start going there. But I'm going to explain to you a little bit about how objects move in Wildstorm. So let me open up Paint for a moment. Imagine we have an object right here, and that object wants to go down here. Well, we would probably just draw a straight line for its path to get there. I'm not covering it up. Better line here. There we go. Straight line. But let's say this is a pretty significant distance. Let's say 300 meters. And about 400 meters on the y-axis. Well, that object is probably not going to jump that distance in the game that quickly. So we probably want to do that over a number of refreshes. So we take a segment of this vector, this line, this segment. We call it a vector in Wildstorm and a lot of mathematics as well. Take it, chop it, we take it, and we chop the rest of this stuff off. And then next frame we move this segment. We move this segment again. We move this segment again. We move the segment again. So the object appears to be moving gradually. Notice that in each one of these frames, the object moves with the segment and eventually gets to its destination. So in set destination, we tell the unit vector where it's going to go. I just covered up the destination. So here, this is what set destination does. It creates that little point. Calculate creates this construct, and then move moves the whole thing, and then moves it again next frame or next refresh, and then moves it next refresh, and moves it next refresh, until we are at our destination. So if we set our destination for 300, 200, 500, and our position is 100, 200, 150, let me show you what the console output looks like for that. So X, so the current X position, Y, the current Y position. I don't think we'll bother with Z. Alright, go right ahead, launch Wildstorm. Now let me get rid of some of this output just so it's not clogging up the console. Alright, launch Wildstorm. Alright, we know everything's working fine. We'll notice that the object is in fact moving, but I don't see an object. Well, that's because we have not added a visual component yet. So we're actually at our destination now, 300, 200, as we can see here. So Wildstorm will not actually make the object continue to move past its destination, unless you change where the destination is, which you can actually do. Let's tease Wildstorm a little bit here. Position, get X plus 1. Position, get X, Y plus 15. Let's do plus 15. There we go. That will make it go infinitely, since we're always telling Wildstorm to move 15 ahead of where it actually is, or telling Wildstorm to move the object 15 units ahead of where it actually is. Well, let's visualize this. Let me get rid of this line for a moment. And one way we could visualize it is by actually creating an image or a sprite. Add this line to your code in order to create a sprite. This sprite will go to image 0. I've loaded an image for you in the setup code. So the first image to be loaded will be image 0, the second one will be image 1, so on and so forth. And we usually want to put false for this parameter. That just tells it to do some mathy stuff. So we're going to tell this object to have a sprite, and the sprite will have image 0 attached to it. So image 0 we've actually loaded as a UFO, a picture of a UFO, and that should come default with Wildstorm. If you look in bin images, you'll see a picture of a UFO. So we're going to load this, and it's the first image we load in Wildstorm. Which is you can look around the setup code for it, but we do load this first, and hence it is image 0. So we're going to set the sprite to image 0. We're going to add a sprite, and its image will be image 0. The next thing we're going to do is just some setup things. So the first image loaded attached to set to code. Alright. So we're going to do some setup things next. So take a look at, if you want, take a look at that code. Now we're down here. And what we do is we in Wildstorm we have render layers, and the great thing about render layers is we can turn them on and off. So let's say I had a set of images that are sprites that I wanted to display, and a set of sprites I did not want to display. I could turn off the render layer the sprites I did not want to display are attached to, and turn on the render layer that the sprites I did want to display are attached to. The creation of this render layer in particular is within the level we create, which is actually within the setup code, and we'll get into making levels eventually, but for now, pretty much ignore this code. The next thing we do is tell the object that, or tell the sprite that it's going to be drawn. So draw yourself. As you might have noticed, actually, we've set sprite as a global, so we can actually access sprite from refresh.lua, but there's really not too much we will be interested in accessing, so we're not going to access it. But if we launch Wildstorm now, we see our first visual object. But wait a minute, stop moving. I want to see that again. There you go, your first visual object in Wildstorm. It stopped moving because it reached its destination. As we can see in the Wildstorm console. There we go, 300, 200, just like I said. So, that about wraps up this tutorial. If you have any questions whatsoever, go head on over to the GCG Games forum, which I'll link in the description to this video. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next tutorial.